Hello everyone, welcome to another edition of the Foolish Fish Esoteric News with your weekly updates on the worlds of esoteric and occult book publishing and arts and events and paraphernalia. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much to miskatonicbooks.com for sponsoring the show. Really appreciate your sponsorship. Miskatonicbooks.com are a fantastic resource, folks, if you enjoy esoteric books, if you enjoy beautiful occult books, books that have been published in very small batches because the audience for them is very reduced. Well, miskatonicbooks.com is the best place to go and check out just to see if they're available. Sometimes it's kind of difficult to get hold of these books because they are printed in such small batches and they sell out very fast. And so miskatonicbooks.com are a great place to get hold of some second-hand books, also books that have been published abroad outside of the United States. And if you want to save on the shipping, then miskatonicbooks.com is really the best place to go and check all of that stuff out. I'm just going to scroll through here and show you a few of the things that you can currently purchase at miskatonicbooks.com, and you'll recognize probably many of the books that I've talked about in these news videos. For example, this one, The Grimoire of the Golden Toad by Andrew Chumbley, which is so hard to get anywhere, right? And well, they seem to still have some pre-orders available, and from what I've understood, they're starting to receive some boxes of that. So and it looks like there are still some available at the original selling price. Absolutely incredible. So definitely go and check all of that stuff out. Learning from Legendary Practitioners is one of the latest Hadean Press books that are available. And speaking of Hadean Press, I'll just finish scrolling through here so you can see some of the other wonderful things. But I want to start today's news section talking about Hadean Press. Actually, there are 3 books on the topic of Saint Cyprian that have just been announced and made available for pre-orders. And so they are Cyprianus, Saint Cyprian, and the Black Book in Scandinavian folklore. There is Cyprian on the right-hand side over here. We've got Cypriani Magici, or Magici, I'm not sure. Septem Horae Magicae, so 7 magical hours. Let me see if I can... No, I can't quite see what's written there. An Iberian, maybe Book of Pacts and Treasure Hunting. Very cool stuff. And then one of their guides to the underworld, which are smaller pamphlets, right? Usually around 20 to 30 pages. The Greek Prayer of St. Cyprian, a medieval phylactery by Simone Kotfa, have all been announced, and you can pick all of those up directly through Hadean Press. If I click on any of these, let's see, so these are available to purchase. No, pre-orders for the moment. So that's for the hardcover. The paperback's not currently available to pre-order. Let's go back and click on the next one. Here we go. Cyprianus, St. Cyprian, and the Black Book in Scandinavian folklore. So once again, this seems to be a pre-order. For the hardcover edition, a clear and educated introduction to the Scandinavian Cyprianus as a folkloric concept, offering a much-needed guiding light for the recent boon of Black Book translations, a gem for scholar and layperson alike. By Jose Leitao, author of the Book of St. Cyprian, the Sorcerer's Treasure, writes this. So this is very exciting stuff indeed. And then finally, let's take a look at the Guide to the Underworld that they have over here. It's the Greek Prayer of St. Cyprian, a medieval phylactery. It's a versatile piece of ancient Christian magic with roots in medieval Byzantium, an apotropaic prayer in which pagan sorcery and Christian exorcism meet. The Greek prayers enjoyed a tumultuous 700-year history, declared most loathsome superstition by the Protestant Bishop John Fell and forbidden by the Inquisition, in early Christianity the prayer was included in liturgical handbooks, widely used as a healing formula. So very, very cool stuff, right? Hadean Press never failed to impress. Hold on, not quite yet, that one. Sorry, there was this one. I just wanted to read a little bit of the description. The 7 Magical Hours of Cypriani Septem Horae Magicae is a long-lost book of St. Cyprian, rumoured to have existed, but frustratingly lost to the mists of time until it wasn't. Let's see, the history of the Iberian books of St. Cyprian is an eternally unfinished one. While these books are not as much of a mystery as they once were, they're a form of literature still steeped in cultural and academic obscurity. When researching such books, the finding of one word mentioned in a time and place when it was not supposed to have been mentioned can cast down our entire edifice of academic proposals, considerations, and theories on their origin and evolution. So the books of St. Cyprian in their full extent exist in a haunted history, obfuscated, by culture and by law as tangible objects whose content rests in intangibility, and self-contained collections of information reaching beyond themselves. Folk tales and urban myths will tell us of devilish books of St. Cyprian as more than repositories of information, but as active participants in the downfall of their unwise users. To investigate these books and not become lost in their riddles requires one to pay no mind to their misleading titles, seductive, self-fabricated glamour, and convoluted inner histories, sometimes even the words of fellow researchers. So let's see, it looks like an exploration of these actual Iberian or Portuguese books of magic. Very, very cool indeed, and you can check out the list of the contents down here. Continuing with Hadean Press news, you know that David Rankin announced the Claves Spirituum a little while ago, and I've been talking about the Claves Intelligentiarum as really one of the most significant books to have come out recently on grimoire magic. And if you've listened to David Rankin's interview on the Glitch Bottle podcast, if you haven't, oh my goodness, go and check it out. It's very exciting stuff, especially if you're interested in grimoire magic at all. The hardcovers are not released quite yet, although I do believe that they're on their way, but the paperback is available on Amazon.com, and I will naturally leave a link to all of that down in the description, so you can go and pick up the Claves Spirituum on Amazon as a paperback, right? If you're not too bothered about the hardcover, and that has been announced to be released today. I hope that that actually comes through. All right, news from Fulgur Press, the Alchemical Feminine, women, gender and sexuality in alchemical images, by M.E. Warlick. I think that's right. Yes, Warlick. There we go. So I told you about this one last week, that they had announced it. It's now actually available to pre-order. So as I was telling you last week, these Fulgur Press books are invariably of extremely high quality outside and inside, and I really do think that we're going to have something quite beautiful in this book. Always thoroughly illustrated, always very, very, very nicely presented, very beautifully laid out, and the contents are written by actual specialists, by people who live this stuff, just like you and I do, and it goes beyond the usual mass market stuff, right? I mean, we are really talking about the real deal here, right? And to see such a beautiful book being made available at really ridiculously low prices like this. Fulgur Press always managed to do something like this, and it's just mind-blowing to me. So very, very cool. Restricted to 1,500 copies in total. So very cool. So we can read about M.E. Warlick over here. Let's take a quick look at the contents, and you'll get an idea if this is something that you'd like to read more about. There we are. Let's continue with Ancestral Whispers. Now, I've got a feeling like I've mentioned this one in the past, but it's actually available right now. It's Ancestral Whispers, a guide to building ancestral veneration practices. If I have mentioned it before, please forgive me. I think that it's always useful to have more rather than less information on ancestral practices. An invaluable resource for connecting to your ancestors. Presenting historical and cultural examples of ancestral veneration from around the world, Ben Stimson shows you how to build a strong, healthy relationship with your ancestors. He teaches the concepts and considerations of this important practice, walks you through the ins and outs of ritual, and shares profound insight on building community. Ancestral Whispers provides exercises and journal prompts especially designed to help you develop an authentic living practice. So yeah, I think that there is so much to be gained by making peace with your ancestors and developing a healthy relationship with adequate boundaries and all the rest that you might potentially need, but provide healing to your ancestors. And I believe that echoes down towards you and towards your future generations as well, right? I think that there's something very, very powerful in working with your ancestors. For those of you who don't know, by the way, there is a wonderful working on ancestors, my favorite, in Aidan Wachter's Weaving Fate. Just if you don't know, then now you know. All right, let's continue with a very interesting book that was pointed out to me this week, Bologna and the Tarot, an Italian legacy from the Renaissance, history, art, symbology, literature. So this is a book that I have not found available in the US Amazon store. So what I've done for you guys is that I've, for those of you in the US, is that I've found a listing on on Abe Books. And on Abe Books, they link to the store in Italy, actually, that makes these books available. So thank you so much, Thomas, for pointing this one out. Let's take a quick read here of the blurb. Nothing like Bologna and the Tarot has ever been published in English, and probably never will be again. The result of 40 years of books, exhibitions, etc. by Andrea Vitali, and 10 years of collaboration with Michael Howard on translations. The focus is on Bologna, highlighting the city as one of the chief reference points. It's one of the chief reference points for the birth of the tarot, together with essays by other authoritative experts. The result is a unique compendium of information drawn from original 15th to 19th century sources, for the most part unpublished since their own time, now translated into English by the editors. So if you're interested in the history of the tarot, and especially the Italian history of the tarot, I think this is going to be of great interest to many of you. Just a shame that it's not easily available, should I say, within the United States, but those of you in Europe will find no problems. As I say, for those of you in the United States, I've provided the best solution that I could find. All right, let's continue with another one over here. This is Judika Isles. So you might recognize Judika Isles from her many, many very well-loved spell books. You know, every time you go into an esoteric bookshop, you'll find those huge volumes with, 10 billion pages, huge doorstop volumes with, just spell after spell after spell after spell. And it happens to be pretty competent magic. I say pretty competent. It's good. It's good stuff, folks. She has a new oracle deck based on those spell books from the best-selling author of the Encyclopedia of 5,000 Spells, no less, comes the ultimate toolkit for practicing the healing, transformative power of magic. In Magic Spells Oracle, the 36 full-color cards offer clarity and inspiration to focus your intention and rebuild your power with guidance through life, relationships, career, travel, and more. Reconnect with the essence of nature and rekindle the magic within the cards divided into the elements of air, earth, fire, and water. An accompanying guidebook outlines the framework for crafting your own altar and charging your oracle, reading and finding inspiration in the cards and their layouts, and connecting with your inner wisdom and deepening your magical practice. Discover the magic in everything, including you. How cool does that sound, right? Very, very nice. All right, let's continue, folks, with the Decadent Tarot, which is going to be launching in the next few minutes. I was really hoping that this would launch by the time I started recording, but it is launching today. I'm recording on Thursday, the 2nd of October. By the time many of you Foolish Fish members see this, when I release this video in a couple of hours, this is likely to already be available. But it's Lalania Simone, who has created other decks that have been very beautiful, one of which I've actually backed, I believe. And so this is the Decadent Tarot, which is an Art Nouveau tarot, and you know how much I love Art Nouveau. You know how much I think that it is the apex of artistic achievement for mankind. I think that everything before was leading up to it, and everything after it has been a free fall. This is a very, very pretty deck, and you can see there seems to be being offered in two options, one with a dark botanical background. Isn't that beautiful? So nice. And the other just black and white, also very, very beautiful stuff. So so that's going to be released in the next few hours, and I wanted to let you know about it as soon as possible, so I'll leave links down below. And if it's still not launched by the time you're watching this, then just give it a few minutes and it will be. All right, and then what do we have? Frater Setnak has got a new set of coins. You know Frater Setnak, no doubt, from his planetary coins, his 72 Angels coins, and many, many others, and he's got his own store now. He used to be exclusively on Etsy, and now he's got his own website with all of his stuff. You can shop his products, and you'll be able to see some prints, many pendants that he makes himself, and so on. Very, very cool stuff. But today I just want to draw your attention specifically to this tarot set of coins. So it always comes with a little instruction on how to use it, but you can see these coins, how lovely they are. They're so nice. They're so nice. So it, of course, is based on the Rider-Waite Major Arcana, and I think many of you will be very, very interested to see these. So you can buy it as a set with like a coin holder and stuff. Lovely, lovely stuff. Very, very beautiful. Very cool. What else do we have? Dark Star Magic. I think they're based in Portland, and they have announced a talk by Corinne Boyer. I'm a fan of what Corinne Boyer does. So she's giving a talk called The Witch Apothecary, Plants of Witches, and that's happening on Sunday, October 19th at 1 p.m. You can go there directly, or you can buy an online ticket. So general admission is $25. The online tickets are $15, and you can reserve a seat. And let me show you over here what's going on. So historically, there have always been certain plants that were associated with witches and witchcraft. In this lecture, we'll explore famed European plants that have held this reputation. The reasons for why and how they have done this over the centuries will be explored. This often comes down to certain plants being inhabited by ill-omened spirits and having supernatural powers attributed to them. Some of these plants have lost none of their mystique over the years. Some have fallen into the dark shadows, nearly forgotten. This lecture seeks to shed light and insight onto these pastimes and arcane ways, once again giving the witch of old otherworldly powers beyond the human realms. That looks like a nice talk, and to an extent, affordable, right? Depending on your personal means, of course. This seems very, very good value for money. So that's happening at 1 p.m. I struggle with these acronyms, PDT, whatever that is. No idea. But you can easily look that up with a quick Google search. That's on October 19th. All right. So in presumably Portland's time, right? All right, let's move on, folks. I've got not one, not two, not three, but 4 games. The autumn season arrives, and I just want to play games. I just want to play board games, and so I spend a lot of time when the sun hides, I just go into board game search mode, and here are four amazing games. And if you don't like board games, stick around anyway, because you might be interested. I don't know. Anyway, this one's called the Freeman Codex. It's directly related to the stuff that you and I like. It's in the form of a book. It's about occult stuff, and it's a game. It's a puzzle. It seems kind of difficult to describe, but it's hidden texts, puzzles, and an artifact waiting to be found. I like this. The idea of a book with that seems like just a book on the surface, but actually with hidden codes and with hidden messages, and you have to go looking further and searching further, and the messages give you clues as to where to look further and stuff like this. I love this kind of stuff, right? Very, very cool. So let's see, it's an independent publishing, Hungry Minds independent publishing house and creative studio known for creating expertly crafted, hand-illustrated books celebrating curiosity, knowledge, and art. Okay, so they bought advertisements in these places. That's cool. So that's, I don't know, it looks very nice to me. The origin of this creative endeavor began in 2012 when it became clear that Mr. Freeman had more to say beyond the screen. There were texts that didn't become episodes, ideas never publicly voiced, and writings left deliberately unseen. The Freeman Codex is the vessel where those materials are finally revealed. All right, so you can check this out. If it looks of any interest to you, it looks like a lot of fun to me. Next, we've got the Wandmaker's Apprentice, an asymmetrical 2-player game for those cold nights, with your with sitting in your dressing gown and sipping on tea. It sounds pretty nice, right? With a loved one, and the game is that you each choose a character, and you get to create wands. So recommend checking out the video for this one. There are literally these plastic parts that you build together to make your wands, like a handle and the main shaft, and then the tip over there, depending on which effects you're looking for and things like this. It's looks like a really nice, relatively simple, although it is asymmetrical. So I wouldn't say for absolute beginners, because asymmetrical simply means, for those of you who don't know, simply means that you both have different rules. So you're not, one person can't look at what the other person's doing to learn the game. You have to learn your rules, each learn your own rules, kind of thing. Right, and here's a kind of look at the wand pieces, which look cool. They've got some acrylic tokens. It looks like the parts just look quite nice. Here's a look at the connectable wand pieces. I don't know how that's going to work. It looks like it's just going to be click in and out kind of thing, right? Possibly some nice dice. Anyway, I thought that looked quite nice, quite cool. Those are those little acrylic tokens, which look lovely. All right, and I told you I got 4. This is the third one. This is status. Throughout the video, they call it status because, of course, that's the American pronunciation. But it's a Victorian affair, so I'm going to go ahead with status. Sorry. So, shape your destiny among Victorian London's elite in a board game of elegance, influence, and high society. And I love this, the fact that it's that it's a 3D board, right? In fact, it's 4 3D boards, all representing a Victorian house, and you're collecting the kinds of stuff that a Victorian well-to-do family would want to collect in order to develop their status in society. So you'll want particular furniture, you'll want particular just acquisitions, right? You'll want particular decorations, you'll want particular this, that, and the other. And it just looks so nice. One of my favorite games is called Obsession, and it's essentially what's it called? Just a moment, I need to remember. Downton Abbey in a box, right? I mean, that's exactly what Obsession is. If you like Downton Abbey, you already know how to play Obsession. So this looks like Obsession with gimmicks, and I like that. I'm sorry, I just like that. You get to see the little houses there. So literally 4 houses, one for each player. So this plays up to 4 players. Some of the little components that you add there, and of course there are going to be different levels where some of them are going to be just made of cardboard, and some of them are going to be made of wood, and you can spend more money to get super deluxe pieces and stuff like this. But this looks like a lovely game. It looks like a game that I would definitely play. Okay, yeah, I like these guys. Tarrant here, in my opinion, is the best board game rule describer in the world. He's amazing. So very cool that they got. I think they're called Board Game University or Meeple University, something along those lines. Yeah, very, very nice. Okay, very, very nice. And then finally, this one, we're coming up to Halloween, of course, and you might be looking for some spooky games. This won't be available by this Halloween, I shouldn't imagine, but definitely by next Halloween, and it's a very nice time to be looking into it. It's a horror board game of survival, sanity, and ascendancy in the midst of a nightmare you and others, for unknown reasons, are sharing. Very interesting. I actually created a board game exactly on this theme about 10 years ago, something along those lines. I sent out my prototype, and the the company said it cost me a lot of money to make that prototype. It was extremely expensive. In fact, a company said, yeah, I'll take your prototype, thank you very much, we'll take a look. And they said, yeah, no, we're not interested, thank you very much. And I said, could I get the super expensive prototype back, and they're like, nah. So that was the end of that dream. Yes, so you can have a look at some of the artwork here. It's very, very competent, very, very creepy artwork. I love it. Very, very Babadook, you know. So take a look at this if you like the idea of a horror board game. Yeah, it looks nice. It looks like it's quite story driven, and yet has some nice gaming mechanics and stuff. So yeah, really, really nice. Let's take a look at some of the 78 card tarot deck. Hello, I didn't even see this. Ooh, Somewhere Tarot. All right, Baba's House themed 78. Awesome. Very, very nice. The game itself is $99 for the basic game, right? And with all the expansions, comes to $200. Nice. All right, I'll let you explore all of that. And then finally, let me just tell you about the course that's coming up in just a few days' time, right? It's the 2nd of October when I'm recording this. This is happening on Saturday, 4th of October for 3 Saturdays in a row at 7 p.m. Central European time, which is 1:30 p.m. New York time. It's 10:30 a.m. Pacific time. And it's the Magus's Toolbox, and it's hands-on real-world magic techniques for the 21st century. We'll be talking about techniques of practical magic, right? The various types of practical magic that exist, and giving you some hands-on experience with getting stuff done in the material world, seeing change, effecting change in the material world. That's the point of this course. So over three lessons, we'll be looking into magic that involves working with the mind, magic that involves working with spirits, and then magic working with divinity in general. So yeah, three approaches to making stuff happen in the material world. We've got quite a few people signed up already. Still a few places left if you're still interested. So if you are a level 3 member, don't forget that you have a code that you can use to get 25% off. So that is happening over the next 3 Saturdays. I'm super, super excited. Thank you so much to those of you who've already signed up. I'm really, really excited for this one. It's going to be really good. You'll see. And that's about it from me. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Thank you so much for watching. Do remember that the best way to support the channel is to join the Patreon. So thank you so much to everyone who has done that, on whatever level. Level 2 gives you already access to the Foolish Fish Discord server, where you can just have a chat with all the other Foolish Fish members who are talking about magic stuff that they're doing and asking questions, and you can answer their questions, or you can ask your own questions and have your questions answered by other people who are interested in the same kinds of stuff as you and who may have more experience or simply different experience. There are some very seriously severe and strong and effective boundary rules to the server, and they're not really the same rules as you'll find on other servers. They're very strict in order to keep it like a library, and to ensure that everyone feels safe asking questions and not feeling like people are going to judge them or tell them off for doing certain things, or give unsolicited advice, but you can ask for advice, and so on and so forth. It's also a place where we have a rule where we cannot talk about politics on that server. And yes, we should be talking about politics And we do talk about politics. There are plenty of places to talk about politics. The server is exclusively for talking about certain topics, right? For talking about magical topics, and exclusively magical topics. And so that's another one of the rules, just to give you another example kind of thing, right? What else can I tell you, folks? You can still book a one-to-one conversation with me if you'd like to discuss your own magical path and you want some personal guidance. And you can actually do that through my website over here on foolishfish.net. You can just check my availability. I've got lots of times that I've tried to make available for people on different places in the world. Got morning slots, got afternoon slots, evening slots. So hopefully you'll find a time that suits you. And and have a look at foolishfish.net for all the other stuff that I offer and that I've done and that I'm going to do, right? So this self-paced course, I told you last week that I wanted to get one of those off the ground. Haven't had a chance to do that this week, but I'm going to make one available quite soon. I want the first one to be on protection, self-protection, on magical protection. So that should be coming at least in October, for sure. All right, folks, that's what I got for you for today. Thank you so much for watching. Do take care of yourselves. Do take care of each other. I'll see you very soon with another one. Bye-bye.